Well, welcome back. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn some more of the more complicated guitars. Remember a few chords. You remember when we first talked about it, I said when I wanted you to play an E chord, I wanted you to use these three fingers and not these three? The reason for that is this piece right here, sometimes they're bone or a type of plastic or something, this is called a nut. And what that does is that's a resting point that pinches the string right here, making this what we call an open E chord. But if you were to take this and to slide this up to, okay, it becomes an F chord, the same as when we barred these two down here. Remember we did that with the F chord? Well, what happens if you wanted to play this note too, and you wanted a more full F chord? Well, to do that, you would have to bar the whole thing. This way, you're still catching the two on the bottom, and you're catching the F, which is up top. So instead of having this open kind of Spanish F chord, or now you have the... Now, if you continue that up the neck, I've included also on the website what's called the neck layout. And as part of your whole tuning thing, we know that if you hit an open E chord, which is right here, your next one up is an F. You want up from that is an F sharp, or depending on the key you're in, could be a G flat. You come up to a G, and then you have an A flat, then you have an A B flat, a B, C, C sharp or D flat, a D, D sharp or E flat, back up to your E, which is your octave. Both E's. Now that runs the same way. So now, if this is an A on your fifth here, and your open string is an A, remember that from tuning? Then if you hit this as an open A, what came after A here? If you look at the sheet, you'll see it's a B flat. A B, a C, a D flat to a D, E flat to an E, which is the same as here. Okay? E, E, E. Now what I want you to do is I want you to work with that sheet and start to remember at least the first two strings to begin with, because all your chordal structures for bar chords run off of the first two strings here. Runs off your sixth string, which is an E, and your fifth string, which is an A. For instance, here's your open A, E. Go to the first one, you have an F. F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E. And all you're doing is moving that open E all the way up the neck. Now we also talked about minors, and we said, okay, there's your E minor. Well, it works the same way. If this is an E minor, and we know that this is an A, then that becomes an A minor, same as this. Do you understand that? Now you can take those minors all the way up the neck. Just like you did before. And you can do the same process on the next string, and you say, okay, well this is an A here, and we know this is an A here. Play it with these fingers, you slide it up one, and you bar. You now have a B flat, because this is the root, which is the B flat. Now, one thing, if you have big hands, it's great to move these up the neck and be able to bar. I have little hands, and you might have little hands. So what you'll see a lot of times is people, they bar this with either this finger or that finger, and you're actually covering those three. That's an A, that's an A, that's an A. And it's just a way of being comfort of whether or not you can bend that joint in your finger enough to be able to cover those three strings to make that sound and hit your open A. If you use it like this, like you saw me do in a couple other weeks past, we go. Well, that A, playing it that way there, is a cheater way of doing it when you're doing an open A, and sometimes you get a little buzz down the bottom here. But when you're doing bar chords, same as we did up top, only you're following different notes. So now all of a sudden, no matter where you're at, you can take this D and play it here. Take this E and play it here.